Hey everyone, Retire on Dividends here. I figured I'd make a video about TSLY because since I've been tracking it, on the daily trades, I figured I'd roll all that crap up and show you some data. So first off, I was going to just do like an inception and date comparison on one of my spreadsheets. But then I figured I'd use dripcalc.com, which is one of the members of my Discord's website. It's pretty helpful actually. So if you go to compare on his website, you can compare Tesla to TSLY, which again, it's not fair to compare the underlying to the actual, covered call ETF, but it's just to give you an idea because the underlying is typically going to win. But just again, to give you kind of an idea. So we're just doing a comparison over the past 2 to 3 years. Obviously TSLY's only, is it 2 years old now? I think it's 2 years. I don't know, whatever. But Tesla went up 78% within that time frame, and TSLY went up 20%. So this is again total return. Tesla doesn't pay a dividend. TSLY obviously does pay a distribution. This chart here kind of just shows the price, obviously starting at 10K, and how Tesla, ended up where it's at. So, TSLY, not looking that bad. Again, this is with, total return. So obviously total return on TSLY looks much better than just when you just look at the capital. And here's another way to look at it. Obviously starting investment being $10,000. And his website luckily is updated. You can see the initial price does show the post reverse split showing the $40. So when all said and done, $10,000 would turn into 12, and that's for TSLY. And then Tesla, $10,000 would have turned into 17,000. This shows the start date was November 23, 2022. So obviously, yes, that's 2 years. Another interesting chart I saw was the dividend payments for TSLY. So obviously, Tesla to the left doesn't have dividends. But TSLY to the right, they started off, they were paying high distributions up to $2, right? You could see the $2 line. Once or twice they paid $2. Then they were paying above $150. Obviously, there was a down distribution in there too. People were like, what the hell? But then since then, obviously, the price of the ETF has gone down, which means the distributions have gone down, obviously. So obviously, you could see over time, your distribution goes down. But the idea is for these funds, especially TSLY, you would have to reinvest in the fund really to do well with it. Outside of that, that's all, I pretty much have to show you as far as that is concerned. I know this is information that most of you already know, but I thought it's pretty cool to look at it. From the website, dripcalc.com, I figured I'd give him a shout out too, because there's a lot of different things on this website that is helpful. But now let's get to the spreadsheets. Now, again, this is freaking no connection. Stupid. This happened this morning. Anyway, I wanted to go back to see my oldest spreadsheet, and I think this is it. So if I go to like TSLY October, is this it? September 26, 2023. This, I don't know if this brings back memories, but this is my old looking spreadsheet. A little pretty plain looking where we showed the trades. I don't even know what the hell I was doing. Again, had the emojis in the same file, reactions daily, and you could see like kind of what's going on. I was tracking the outstanding shares, but again, I'm not showing any data here. I just thought it was funny to go back and see how pathetic my format was. I don't even know what the close tab was. I did used to like this you guys loved it too, the active tab, but it was becoming a little manual, labor. This part is how I track the variance in the price, Tesla versus TSLY, which it was okay, but it eventually made more sense to put it all together. And then there's a couple other tabs. And then I thought it was interesting, if I pull up the TSLY in November, if you go to the calls, I did highlight here. Where is it? There it is. The 217.50, 32,851 contracts, barf face. We lost $88 million, right? That was a tough day. I mean, we've lost a lot of, I don't know if we've had a big big number like that since. But again, we didn't have call credit spreads back then to save us, because obviously if you blow through the strike, then you can kind of forget it, right? So again, I don't know what the Tesla price was. Was it 11.15? What was the expiration date? 11.17. If we go here, 11.17. What was the price of Tesla? 234. And if you go here, the call was 217. So obviously, yeah, they got their ass kicked. But yeah, I just thought that was funny, because I know it is a famous strike price. For those of you that weren't around at that time, this was like the dagger to the heart, right? This is kind of one of the reasons I got out of Tesla, because the fact that can even happen, and it has happened a lot, maybe not to that extent or that value, but it was a big hit. And basically our calls just got blown through really bad, and it hurt. It really hurt. And I tried to remind Jay of this when I met him in New York too, and it was funny. I wanted him to take a picture of this and this screen print, but he wouldn't do it. But anyway, he thought it was kind of funny, but not really. But anyway, let's move on. What else? Let's see. Well, I also have, again, this is when I was making monthly spreadsheets, because you imagine I was only covering TSLY at the time. I was covering like the treasuries. Did the treasuries go up or down? This got a little ridiculous, but obviously since then I've kind of come to my senses, and I believe I have a good organization, now of a spreadsheet. So anyway, now to what I was going to get at from the beginning. Here we are. So what I did is I took 2024, because starting 24, not the beginning. I have January, and then I tracked up to the end of October, okay? The reason I stopped in October is because I started the 2025 spreadsheet with their actual fiscal year trades. So that's kind of why it goes from January to October. So what I did is I combined the file all into one tab, which was a complete pain in the ass. And then I did a pivot. So these are all the trades. I had to obviously eliminate certain rows, this and that and the other thing, which you guys don't care about. And then I did a pivot, and here it is. So now at the top, what am I showing? I'm showing wins and losses. I show for 2024, at least January through October, we had 39 losses and 108 wins. So they actually did rather well this year, right? So, and then you could see the call credits, the call debits, and then the overall profit, right? So the losses ended up being, 330 mil, but the wins showing 283 mil. So obviously overall it was a loss, which is unfortunate, because again, it takes one really bad loss to offset many, many wins. But that's kind of why they have the call credit spreads, to avoid that from happening going forward. But we shall see. Something else I had here is what percent did they go out of the money, right? So I tracked how many times did they go out of the money, did they sell calls out of the money 5% or higher or lower than 5%. So I'm showing here in pink 81 times they went under 5%. And then 66 times they went above 5%. So again, out of the 147 times, I'm showing 66 above 5 and 81 below 5. Again, we don't want it, well, I don't want it below 5 normally, but this kind of shows you how low. Again, we don't know at the time of the trade either, so this is not 100% accurate, but obviously, look, 3 times, 0.03%, not good, right? 2 times, 1.11. There's a lot here under 5%, where obviously we could have gotten capped, or we probably got capped throughout the year. So again, more times than not, we sold calls below 5%. And here's the above 5%. And it does go pretty high. It goes as high as, 15.95%. Obviously, if they're super volatile, they are able to do that. So, some pretty interesting numbers there. And then I had here wins versus losses, and then the date. So we by date, I'm kind of just showing you the losses, some of the high losses. Like I just mentioned before how, the losses can be more damaging than the wins can do good. So here's a loss on one day, 80.8 mil, right? The biggest win was what? 19 mil? You see what I mean? So again, I guess that's kind of what the credit call spreads are for when we see like a lot of upside. Obviously we did, 80,000, 56,000, 44,000. And our best day was 19. How many losses are more than 19? A whole crap load, to be honest. So that just shows you kind of how damaging, like when we get capped, like bad, it's a lot worse off, can be much more damaging than what it really, than what the wins can do. So obviously I just kind of wanted to show you that. And another thing down here, I'm just looking at the Tesla gains versus the TSLY gains each day, and kind of the difference. Obviously, the pink, if it's a positive amount in the gap, obviously Tesla did better. Obviously, they're keep in mind there are ex-dividend dates in here, but it shows you, a decent amount of times where Tesla did do much better on an individual day than TSLY. Okay. Which obviously we know, again, the underlying will typically beat the covered call ETF. Not in all cases, right? Like I think AMZ, sometimes, they're beating Amazon, but they're kind of flat. Like Tesla, it's hard because they fluctuate so much. But again, this is kind of just random information that I wanted to cover. Again, just for 2024. And I figured I'd show the older data as well to give you guys an idea. And then obviously if I go to payment information, you kind of have like the whole recap of the year. I don't know if you guys remember. I did start covering this in November, and right off the bat, they had a good month. Synthetic income, 167 mil, right? And then then 34 mil. And then look at synthetic income lost 150 mil. But in the end, guys, overall, look at that synthetic income, 173 mil. That's really good. That means the underlying stock did very well. Short call income, though, shows a loss overall of 65 million. But if you net the two together, that's 108 million in net income. So that's good, right? Now, I mean, other things too. What do we got? We had one thing I don't think I mentioned a lot is the carry forward. Where is it? So from the prior fiscal year to this year, they did carry forward They carried forward losses of $146 million, and they're able to use that to net against future income. So that's pretty good. And what does that mean? It means that pretty much they can net that against the gains and have return of capital almost forever, right? Unless like they have some massive gains and they pay out a decent amount. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. And then you can kind of see for this year, the debit carry forward. Again, these aren't exact numbers. Let's be realistic. Let's wait for their annual statement. But to get an idea, that loss carry forward, or that debit carry forward, is going to increase for the year, because I'm showing that they had more losses than not. So anyway, so that's kind of the update for TSLY for, up to kind of like the end of the fiscal year, 10/31. And obviously we're tracking TSLY now. We have the 2025 tab. And, we started out with a 245 synthetic, then we moved to 255, and now we're at the 295, right? So, we're moving right along. We're making progress. Tesla's doing very well. In fact, today, it actually did not do well. It went down 5.77%. So, it was going up so high. We got to expect there's going to be a sell-off. Maybe it'll plateau around 300, but who the hell knows, honestly. And then payment information for the as-at totals for this year. What am I showing? Actually, I didn't do the carry forward from the prior year. I will add that row once the annual statement comes out, which, by the way, I'm guessing it should come out. I don't know. Is it 60 days from the end of the fiscal year? Who the hell knows? But probably soon. It's a lot of detail to go through, to be honest. But the more important thing is I just want to see like how much loss carry forward that they have. But so far for this year, they are producing overall income. So if you look at the totals, We do have synthetic income of 150 mil. Short call loss is 66 mil. So net income is 84 mil. Again, the goal to me, in my opinion, I want them to win column C. I want column C to show a credit, a net income. I want them to make money on the weeklies, not just the synthetic. Because again, what if the underlying doesn't do that well, right? Overall. So I don't know. But either way, I figured I'd just kind of give the update for TSLY to see how things have gone since I started tracking it. This is kind of a shortened version, but I did just finish work and I'm kind of rushing this because my son has to do homework, and my wife has to cook, and blah blah. You know how that goes, right? But anyway, I figured I'd make this for you guys and I post it right away in case anyone cares. But let me know what you guys think. Do you want me to do like a similar summary for NVIDIA? Coney, when did I stop tracking Coney? Actually, I don't know. Coney, where's Coney? 24. Where to go to payment? Coney, I almost made it to the end of the year. I did make it to September. I could probably do a Coney video if you guys wanted, just to recap kind of how they did. I could do Coney and NVIDIA. That's pretty much the only other two. If that is of interest to you guys, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make that happen. No promises on when, but I'll just put it in the backlog, right? Well, I don't really have it. It's just in my head. And then you guys would remind me, hopefully, if I keep forgetting. But anyway, guys, as always, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, what the hell? We'll try again on the next video. But if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. If you have any other questions or concerns, leave them down below. Outside of that, I got nothing else. And I'll talk to you guys in the AM 6:30 with the premiere. All right. Take care. Enjoy your night. Later.